Good morning. One thing about having a cat and a black comforter is the fact that I have to lint roll my comforter every once in a while because Posty just decides to leave chunks of fur on my bed, and it's super obvious because it's black. Look at him just looking at me. He's like, I'm gonna mess that up real quick, don't worry. I know, Booba, but I need to at least minimize it a little bit. Posty's fluff just takes over. Isn't that right, Booba? You just take over, huh? Can I give you a hug? Happy Thursday. I'm tired. There was possibly like a work lunch I could have gone to, but I don't think I want Mexican first thing in the morning, to be honest, so I love coffee. Also, I need to replace my Omnipod, so let's do that real quick. This is my Omnipod. She cute, I guess. If no one knows what an Omnipod is, it's my insulin delivery system. Not just my insulin delivery system, but many type 1 diabetics' insulin delivery system. And I have to change my Omnipod every 72 hours. Typically when I do that, I give myself about 150 units of insulin in the pod. I like carbs and I eat carbs a lot, so I definitely, Posty, let's be respectful of my space. And so I give myself on the higher side of units. The minimum is 100 and the maximum is 200, so I kind of go in between. Unless I feel like I'm eating less carbs lately, and then I'll go closer to 100. Just because once the Omnipod expires, it's not like you can get any of the insulin that you didn't use out. So I try and stick to what my diet looks like. Now, I just have to prime it, and what priming it means is just getting all of the air out, because you don't want to get air in your bloodstream, because if you get air in your bloodstream, it could go to your brain and then you could die. Very important step, but it also won't let me put the Omnipod on unless I do it, so they take precaution. And then I always just keep like the wrapper, I guess, of the Omnipod that I have on, because just in case it like stops working before it's supposed to, they're supposed to send me a new one to replace it for free. And let me tell ya, insulin, not the pricey thing. Basically get that for free. But all of my equipment, my Omnipod, my Dexcom, everything else, that's the pricey stuff. So if one stops working, I definitely want to get a refund on it, or not a refund, but a replacement. Sometimes I'll just get a bad batch of Omnipods and they all are kind of like dying on me, and it's super frustrating because it's already annoying to have to change it every 3 days, but then having to change it before then, I'm just like, dude, technology, work how you're supposed to, you know? I got my Dexcom here, and I have to keep it like in line, either vertically or horizontally to my Dexcom, and I just had it on my arms, so that means I'm gonna have it on my low back this time. I don't know if it picks up on camera, but you can kind of see some of the scarring I've had just from using this spot over and over again, but I don't have any, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of, you want to watch out for almost like cottage cheesy feeling, like lumps in the skin, because that means that a ton of scar tissue is building up, and insulin is probably not going to be as effective there anymore. Personally, I rotate between the same 4 spots because I could put it on my stomach, I could put it on my leg, but personally, I just don't want to do that. This works for me. Go ahead, place that baby on, and then I just start it. Oh, my friend's always calling me, but I'm gonna call her back in like 2 seconds. Then I kind of just pinch the skin around it, and it kind of alleviates some of the pain. Typically it doesn't hurt too bad, but it really depends on where you place it and if there's enough like fat and skin there to kind of buffer it a little bit so it's not as directly into my like nerve receptors, you know? Ta-da! I am now supplied with insulin again. What a happy day.
I are gonna cook for everyone.
OOTD. In a purse. Oh, I kind of want a belt. Oh, I thought that was him running, not your skirt. I was like, here he comes. Now I'm ready. Trader Joe's haul. Finally got poinsettias. Or poinsettias. I don't know how to say it, but. This is the state that I left my room in. If you're my family members, don't be watching this. Hello. How would I rate my day? I would have to give my day a 7 out of 10. It was nice just because I just slept in, kind of enjoyed my morning, and then I went to Trader Joe's with my friend Zoe, and I just love Trader Joe's. Good vibes in there, so it was nice to just walk around Trader Joe's, pick up some snacks. We bought some ingredients to make some gluten-free pasta. So then when we got back to her house, we made some pasta and just hung out. And then I came back home. I ended up going back over to her house and just hanging out with our friend Morgan as well. You guys have met Morgan in an earlier vlog, my tequila sunrise vlog. Morgan's the friend that I went and I visited for that, so you guys have met her. We just hung out and we were going to possibly do some hot tubbing, but we were so tired. We were kind of just like because originally the plan was we were gonna go look at Christmas lights and then go to the hot tub, but by the time we all ended up meeting up, the Christmas lights were gonna be done, and so we were like, okay, we'll just hang out and then maybe go to the hot tub. We ended up hanging out, and then next thing you know, we were talking and it was late, so then we all just ended up going our separate ways. But it was a good day. It was chill. It's nice to be hanging out with my friends who are in town. In between seeing Zoe and then going back and seeing Zoe, I saw my other friend Zoe. She just stopped by and we just caught up and talked in between her like heading home from work. So it was good to see her and catch up with her just because it's been a while. And yes, I know it's confusing. I have 2 friends named Zoe, but you know what? I figure it out, so you can figure it out too. For the passage, I have human scale. Think of the whole universe of matter and how small your share. Think about the expanse of time and how brief, almost momentary, the part marked for you. Think of the workings of fate and how infinitesimal your role. What does that word even mean? Give me a sec. Let me do a little Google search. Extremely small. Infinitesimal. Think of the workings of fate and how infinitesimal your role. Marcus Aurelius Meditations 5.24. The amount of matter in the universe is immense, on the order of trillions of atoms. What percentage of that matter does one human body constitute? The Earth, as far as science tells us, is some 4.5 billion years old and shows no sign of ending soon. Our time on Earth, on the other hand, will be what? Several decades, maybe? Sometimes we need to have the facts and figures spelled out in front of us to fully realize the scale at which humans happen to exist in the big scheme of things. Consider this the next time you feel self-important or like everything rises and falls on what you do next. It doesn't. You're just one person among many doing your best among many. That's all you need to do. And I like this passage. I think that it is good to kind of put into like perspective of how small we are in the grand scheme of things. But I will say that I am someone who kind of believes in the butterfly effect and how one thing can impact so many other things. And because of that, I feel that personally, I kind of move through life keeping other people in mind, and you're just one person among many doing your best among many. So, doing your best is important, and I think that whether or not you take into perspective the small portion that we are going to be on this earth in the grand scheme of things, I do think that if everyone decided to be a good person, the world would be a better place, just because the more of something, the bigger impact it has. And so, yes, we might not take up that much space on the timeline in terms of Earth's life, but something that we do now can affect things down the road for either ourselves, the people around us, or just everybody. And so I think that that's a good thing to just keep in mind. Your actions do impact other people, even if it's not necessarily in the greater scheme of things. Your actions do have impact, whether it's positive or negative, and just keeping that in mind, I think that you should be a positive person, just so that you impact the people around you in a positive way, because it's like first impressions. You don't want to have an interaction with someone for the first time and then you walk away and they're like, damn, that person was shitty. You'd rather them be like, oh, that person was nice, right? Like, you'd rather be seen as a nice, good person rather than a bad, shitty person. Maybe that's just me, but on that note, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.